Peace and love. What up, though? What it do? What's popping? What's cracking? What's happening? Time 9, time 10, time 9, time 10 again. And we got to do it again. You know, people are easily manipulated, as well as people was lazy. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine if you know what I'm saying, it was you that was on trial, right? Or you who was the victim, or it was you who was serving a 10-year bid, right? People believe just about anything that, gets regurgitated over and over again on the internet. Like they say, the internet is undefeated. And, I just cannot agree with that. It's undefeated when you're dealing with lazy motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? Excuse my language. I cuss already. We ain't even been live. Not use some French already. We ain't been live 5 minutes yet. It don't matter. Y'all know how they gonna do me anyway. It's gonna be, very low on the monetization end for me. But we gotta do this because, like I said, people are lazy. People do not vet the information that they get, and then they fall for it. Ain't the now if you fall for some Photoshop AI stuff, then you just, I don't know what to say. You are severely mentally unstable. Because like I said, all of us have our mental issues and stress that we dealing with, regardless to, how great people on the outside may view your life as being, how much moolah you got stacked up. Like, nah, that doesn't equate to mental stability based on, your financial status or, how you look and, how advanced your children may be and, yourself and your spouse or whatnot. No, we're not doing that. All we gonna deal with is what has been proven. And again, I put a whole rack out there, $1,000. If you can show me some new evidence, right? Some new evidence that is gonna lead to Daystar Peterson getting a pardon. Because again, people don't be vetting this information. Like, for example, a lot of people don't even know that his appeal has already been denied. He's been denied an appeal. So what we're going to do this evening is I'm going to let an attorney talk to you about the case, right? Since I've already put, my best foot forward many times, but people refuse to even look at the transcripts. Like I said, this is not a classified case. Any of the information that I share on here or that I find on the internet that's legitimate, such as the DA interviewing Kelsey Harris prior to the trial. They interviewed her in September. The last live that I did, I dang near played the entire interview, right? So that you all can get a better understanding as to why she asked for immunity during the trial. It had nothing to do with her being the shooter. But again, like I said, people are so lazy. You know what I'm saying? And I want to say this too. If you aren't a parent, right? If you're not a parent, and I notice a couple of people that I'm having these issues with, who keep pushing this false narrative about what actually happened at the shooting. Keep in mind, I wasn't there and you wasn't there. So the only evidence that I have to go by is what was stated in the trial. Regardless to Kelsey Harris being granted immunity, they still played that entire interview she had with the district attorney, the Los Angeles district attorneys, right? They played that interview during the trial so she wouldn't have to say anything. But see, if you listen to the interview, then you will understand as to why she asked for immunity. Because again, it wasn't only Tory PR team who was spinning it, trying to make it seem like she was the one who shot Megan. Megan wasn't saying that Kelsey wasn't the one. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't, and I'm talking in 2020, right? I'm not talking about in 2022. I'm talking about in 2020, right? Megan was not defending that girl at all, and I was supposed to be her best friend, allegedly. She found out, both of them found out, no, he was not my best friend, period. You are an employee and you are an employer. That was the relationship they end up having. But again, Megan didn't come and step forward and give the girl no attorney. She didn't get her no lawyer, number one. Number two, the girl asked her a couple of times, like, are you going to come out in my defense? Because they're making it seem like I'm the one who shot you. And Megan did not do that. Megan got upset with her. Again, I ain't even about to tell you everything. Just go back and watch the last live that I did, or go on YouTube and search for the interview that Kelsey Harris did with the district attorneys, right? So that you can understand and stop saying dumb shit, right? See, people who are intellectually savvy, or those who hold degrees, law degrees, you know what I'm saying? Laughing at all of y'all, for real. And I don't have a law degree. I'm somewhat versed because, as I explained on one of the most recent lives that I did, is I can really relate to the situation. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I don't, regardless to how intoxicated all three of them were, when guns start, starts to get popping off and fire, like, you're not gonna forget that. Whether or not you're the one who caught a ricochet, or whether or not you're the one who fired the weapon, you're not gonna forget that. So don't be fooled, okay? Don't be fooled by, again, Kelsey Harris doing the trial saying, I just don't remember. You know how they did her? Oh, you just don't remember? Okay, then we gonna play your entire interview that you did in September, 3 months prior to the trial in December. This is what we gonna do for you. We gonna play this interview. Not only that, we're gonna share the statements that you made the night of the shooting, which is why they released her. And I forget Tory's homeboy name, who was the driver, playing driver / bodyguard that evening. They let Quan, his name is Quan, they let Quan and Kelsey go. They kept Tory for a reason, based off the statements made by Kelsey Harris and his homeboy Quan. I'm not saying that his homeboy told him, but again, when you are booked at the precinct, they take all of your belongings. They take your phone, they take your shoestrings, they take your earrings, they take your necklaces, they take your bracelets, they take your rings, they take everything, right? So at that point, the text messages that Kelsey Harris had sent to her mother, sent to her friends, sent to Megan's bodyguard and staff, they had all of that information. So during the trial, they didn't need for her to say shit, which is why they so easily granted her, again, immunity. It really vexes me that people within the so-called conscious community as well are very guilty, you understand, of not vetting this information and listening to these bloggers who are giving you just short clips and glimpses, and because there is no footage of the shooting. There is no visual footage of the shooting. The very same ring camera footage that Tory Lanez attorneys have mentioned, and Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna mentioned, is the very same ring cam footage, which is just audio. It does not show the shooting. If the fucking shooting was somewhere visually recorded, we all would have seen it by now, right? I guarantee you that, number one. And number two, if it was any footage available showing Kelsey Harris shooting Megan Thee Stallion, guess what? Tory Lanez will be able to sue not just only the Los Angeles Police Department, but he will be able to sue the state of California and Megan Thee Stallion and whomever the fuck else. This just wouldn't mean a pardon for him, right? And again, with the amount of money, that he's holding, and the access that he has to the best attorneys, right? Just remember, when you hire an attorney, you're not just hiring that attorney, you're hiring their whole staff, from all the way down to the paralegals and the private investigators that they use, and so on and so forth. Understand, I've been in this very same situation before. You understand? Number one, let me say this to those of you who are listening or who will hear this in the near future. If you are not a parent, you will never enter and understand what I'm about to say to you. And what I've said quite a few times. If my daughter, my niece, my sister, my female cousin, my mother is being accompanied by a young man out on the town, and she comes home injured in any way, she don't come back home in the same condition that she left in, and the guy that she with ain't hurt too, if one of mine come home hurt, this nigga better be injured too because he was trying to protect her, right? Think about that. Let's ponder upon that. A young woman is out on the town with a young man, and they get into an argument. As a man, what is the first thing that you would do? You're going to make sure this woman, this young lady, gets home in the same condition in which she, entered your circumference with. If you know for a fact that if she don't come home in the same condition that she left, that you're going to have to face some consequences. But being that, again, Megan Thee Stallion did all this trauma bonding with Tory Lanez, and I call him Tory Lanez because dude lame, you shot a female, and you trying your best to weasel your way up out of it. But again, there is no new evidence. First of all, the TMZ, and I'm about to show y'all all of this, TMZ, by way of Tory Lanez staff, and this is what's so funny, they calling a website to get this pardon for Tory Lanez, 36 hours something. Well, y'all 36 hours was 9 days ago, right? Starting with the congresswoman, as well as his attorneys, making these statements that they were going to release this new evidence, this new cam footage within 36 hours that they did not release, right? What they doing is they get money. Everybody is getting money except for me in this situation. I'm telling you, I got a rack for you. If you can show me some new footage that's going to grant him a pardon, okay? Because granted, what they're playing now is, let me shut this down right quick, y'all. They're playing audio of Sean Kelly, who was actually a witness during the trial, right? And as he's talking to the police, you don't see his face. All you hear is audio. There's no visual footage of anything. Okay? And most of what he says to the police during this testimony that he's given to the police, right, is not really what he said during the trial. And you want to know the reason why he didn't make a false move during the trial? Because by the time the trial comes around, they have Kelsey Harris statements. They have the messages from her phone. Then they have the district attorney interview. Then they also have the ring cam footage, which again is just audio. It does not show who shot who. You hear the gunshots. And from that, they can dictate exactly what time the gunshots went off. Right? That's what you got. And again, this stuff that people was talking about, this is new evidence. It ain't new evidence. Because again, Sean Kelly testified at the trial, right? That he saw this short guy and he heard these gunshots. What he is stating on this audio that y'all want to call new evidence, which is not new evidence, is he saw the two girls fighting and the guy stayed in the back of the car. But that is very contrary to the medical records, not just of Megan Pete, right? Not just from Megan, but the scars and the bruises that Kelsey Harris had that she says Tory Lanez did to her. Originally, this is what she's saying. during the altercation when they all get back in the car and she's texting, right? And when they get released, well, when her and Quan gets released from the precinct, she's texting Megan. And she like, should I get checked out? Should I get a scan? My back and my side and my neck hurt from Tory dragging me out the car by my hair. Now, why would she have a reason to lie to Megan? Megan was there when all of this occurred. See, this is about logic, and this is about dealing with what actually was stated during the trial and during the night of the incident. Not this 5-year Johnny come lately ass shit where again Tory is using his money and his PR team. And I don't blame him. I would be trying to get out the situation too. Especially when there were lies told. Megan lied to the police twice. When the police got there, they asked her, how did she receive those injuries on your foot? She like, oh, I stepped on glass. They like, no, you got shot. It's reported gunfire. She like, nope. And I don't blame her for lying either. You have to look at the circumstances. Because what she's worried about at that time is, are y'all taking us all to jail? Right? And you're like, no, bitch, you need medical attention. Because the way you bleed from the foot, it didn't come from no cut that you got from yesterday or from a prior destination. And for all those who are, saying that, okay, there's only one doctor who said that those were bullet wounds and that they removed bullet fragments from her feet. You want to know why? Because even when she was in the hospital, she was still lying. So the first 2 doctors that she talked to, she kept trying to say she was cut. And they didn't believe her. But what is they going to put on record? They're going to put on record that she said she stepped on glass. Excuse me. All on the top of your feet? How the top? And then, how does that happen if you stepped on glass? So the actual last doctor, who was the surgeon who removed the bullet fragments from her feet, he put that on record. The other 2 doctors could not, because those weren't the 2 doctors. Those 2 doctors did not render any services to her. So that's why it's only one doctor who's saying that, hey, she got shot. You want to know how I know? I removed the bullet fragments from her feet. That's how that goes. So throw that shit in the trash can too. And let's continue to go. So, I mentioned the Sean Kelly cat. How his statements were somewhat contrary to what he said during the trial. And I just mentioned as to why. You think he wanted to be committing perjury and be held in contempt of court and all of that shit for lying? No, absolutely not. Again, I had similar circumstances. I had the same shit happen to me. Where you had one witness who said, I didn't do anything. I don't know what she had. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, the other witness is saying, I had a black gun that was square, and it was 2 cars in my driveway and 2 cars in front of my house. You know what I'm saying? Just lying her ass off to where she wasn't even believable by way of the jury that was not on my peers. So again, I've been in this situation before. And again, I'm a mother. So if my child comes home injured in any way, especially a daughter, a niece, a cousin, a mother, a sister, then Tory Lanez will have some problems with my family. But again, Megan don't have that, family support. Mother passed, grandma passed, father passed, and she don't have no brothers and sisters. She trauma bonded with Tory Lanez about all her fucking business. So he knew this. So he knew it wasn't no repercussions if he smacked her around or shot at her or whatever the fuck. He knew this already. But these are things that we keep skipping over. We keep skipping over the fact, again, that if that was your child, your sister, your mother, and she ends up in the hospital getting bullet fragments taken out her feet after she got finished hanging out with this guy, you wouldn't have a problem with him? I need to listen to some of his music, I guess. Because he must have some hell of a fucking music. Or y'all really just hate her that much. You got to be one or the other. Because as I've looked at this case over and over and over, which is not classified, by the way, y'all just lazy. I got to keep saying that. Y'all are just very lazy. and don't want to look up the case. Again, because you favor him more. And there are other reasons too. Like I said, she lied to the police. And she gave an explanation as to why she lied to the police. I'm not trying to go to jail in this situation. Because the minute she would have said she got shot, the circumstances would have changed for her and everybody else in the situation, minus him. Oh, they pulling up out here. Man, I hope y'all ain't getting all that background noise. So, like I said, there's no, if you're going to consider new evidence being the statements that Sean Kelly made, you can consider that to be new evidence all you want, but will it be enough to grant him a pardon? And I'm telling you, no, it will not be enough to grant. If he gets a pardon, it will be by way of Trump bullying Gavin Newsom, right? Or by way of Tory Lanez putting some money into Trump's whatever, a trust or fund or his Bitcoin or whatever it might fucking be, for him, for Trump, for Donald Trump to influence Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is not just going to grant Tory Lanez a pardon, because of the fact that, again, if he grants him this pardon based on so-called new evidence, that opens up the door for a lot of people to get counterclaims against them, starting with the Los Angeles Police Department and ending with the state of California. And Megan Thee Stallion somewhere in the middle of that. And that's not going to happen. Believe me, that's not about to happen. So y'all can hang that up. I'm just telling you this. Don't wait for it. Don't wait for it. So, we have a guy and two girls hanging out with him. They both end up injured, but one ends up shot. My bad, I ain't even pay attention to the comments. One ends up shot. And like I said from the beginning, I believe that he wasn't directly aiming the gun at her. I believe that his intention was to shoot near her and shoot into the ground or whatnot. And she caught them ricochets. I've been in that situation too. It just, the shooting didn't go that way. The person who was actually shooting was not aiming for me. They was aiming for somebody else. But I'm an 11-year-old child running, walking to school and getting caught up in a situation. And I can hear the bullets chinging against the fence that I'm running alongside of. And I caught a ricochet that way. One of the bullets ricocheted, and burst. And I caught a couple pieces in my back. No, the individual who was shooting, they weren't shooting at me, but I still end up being injured. Because the person who they were shooting at was running behind us. And he was shooting at them. He would turn around and shoot at them or run some more and turn back around and shoot at them some more. And as he's running in our direction on the Weaver towards the Southfield, towards the Southfield Expressway, but I'm saying, the service drive or whatnot, towards West Chicago. That's what we were running towards. We were actually walking to school. Like, I've been in both situations. I've been the shooter and I've been the one who caught the ricochet. And again, I have a child. And if my child comes home injured after hanging out with you and you ain't injured, we got a problem. This is why I'm invested in this. Not because, I'm team Megan, right? Although I'm more familiar with her music than I am with Tory Lanez. And me rallying and cheerleading for a nigga to get out of jail who shot a woman, that ain't gonna never happen. You can hang that up. And I'm not influenced by the internet in that way. When it comes to the internet, it is not undefeated when it comes to me, because if I see something that's questionable, I'm a research it if I have an interest in it, right? If something looks photoshopped or sound AI-ish, then it's photoshopped, then it's AI-ish. I don't have to research it. But when we're talking about a felony conviction, which are shoes that I walked in. Oh yeah, I got an interest in that. Big time. All day. Thank you. It was somebody, out here riding around with the boom, 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 and they trunk or whatnot, and it was vibrating and everything. So, yeah, y'all. We gonna look at the video though, but long story short, you know what it is. He didn't just get stabbed up out of nowhere. That's karma. That's exactly what that is. For someone to keep lying instead of being, I can respect a person who's willing to be accountable for their mistakes. We've all made some mistakes and out of anger done some things. Now, all of us, I'm not going to say all of us have had too much to drink and did some crazy stuff, because that doesn't apply to everybody. But everybody has had a moment where, you snapped, right? And that's I snapped. I've snapped before. I've learned how to control, or at least try to control, my anger, because I don't want to end up where Tory Lanez is at. His bread longer than mine, so he's refusing to, let that go. But this gonna get real dirty before it's over with. And like I said, she lied about getting shot because she did not want to go to jail. And this is what she said out of her own mouth to the LAPD. She initially lied about having an intimate relationship with Tory, right? From what I can see, I'm somewhat of a psychologist, right? Out of embarrassment and out of trauma. Because again, I wouldn't want to embarrass my people by getting on national TV and admitting that I had sexual intercourse with a man who shot me. But I wouldn't have answered that question, period. She wouldn't have got, Gail King would have not got a yes or a no out of me. I would have just cussed her out and next question. Got another question? Not about to answer that. Oh man. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, I was hearing something. And I don't hear it, so let's carry on. But yeah, I wouldn't have got on national TV and admitted nothing like that. And Gail King got hot ass mess for asking her that, the same way Gail King needed to get cussed out when she asked Lisa Leslie after Kobe's passing, asking Lisa Leslie about the white girl in Colorado that he was, accused of what y'all say raping. We know that he bought his wife that $4 million diamond ring to try to make up for it or whatnot, but after the man passed, that's not the time to be asking that type of question at all. So Gail King was out of pocket for asking Lisa Leslie that question, the same way she was out of pocket for asking that question of Megan Pete. We on here, you know what I'm saying? And we talking about how I got shot up, and you gonna ask me that I have intercourse. Like, my question to the people who try to hold her to the fire for that, like, has she said yes, she had intercourse with him, with that made it okay that he shot her? To me, that is irrelevant. But I can understand the type of embarrassment that, I would be, I wouldn't have answered that question. I have to think about it from both lanes, right? So she said she stepped on glass, and initially she said she didn't have intercourse with the guy. But during the trial, she admitted to having intercourse with the guy. She didn't lie during the trial. Y'all be killing me with the pussy police and the panty police and whatnot. Like, fuck, that really ain't that portion of their relationship wasn't none of our business. Period. Realistically, it's not my business what they was doing in the bedroom. Now, he made it everybody's business when he shot her, though. That's for sure. That's on him. But as far as, whether or not they were intimate or not, like, that's irrelevant to the case. But again, by her telling them 2 lies, it's made it a very rough ride for her, but not as rough as Tory has made it by not being a man and being accountable. I'm not saying he a man regardless, but not being a stand-up guy and being accountable for his actions. Right? Had he done that, he wouldn't even got as much time as he got. That's a given. Between him lying and pointing the finger at everybody else did it. I didn't do it. Somebody else did it. I don't know who did it. Jesus did it. Let him tell it. He's not a likable person for me. Period. That makes no sense. So I'm gonna play this video because I need to see what the hell this noise is. So boom, where is that? If I leave me up here, oh yeah, I could do that. So I probably should turn the music. No, the music can play. My bad, y'all. It's graphic. It's graphic. My bad. So, old boy that stabbed him lied too, because he said it wasn't nobody else there. He said something else too. And look how short the video is.
They shot out of the car?
The windows were open, that's why it sounded like either way. Yeah, I didn't read it.
I gotta pause it so I can turn the music so y'all can hear everything that this dude said. Which again, this is the same guy, Sean Kelly, who testified during the trial. So being that this is the same guy who testified during the trial, where is the new evidence? Ain't no new evidence. This is this again. This would be like saying Megan or Kelsey had new evidence, right? Y'all, you already had your go. You already testified. So you spoke in the state, and the people of California made their decision. You wouldn't allow them two to come back and say anything else and consider it to be some kind of new evidence that would grant, them like a lawsuit or something like that. Because the way it goes is this, what y'all call that, restitution? For example, see, I'll pause because I don't want to say people's name, but one of my people, young baby, 18, whole life ahead of her. And she come home to her guy having intercourse with a whole nother girl. So she gets a razor blade and slashes she's outside slashing his tires. Now this 18-year-old girl weighed maybe 118, 119 pounds soaking wet. Her boyfriend is like 6'4", 240. So he, punches her and grabs her, and she cut him across his neck. They said like 2 more centimeters, and it would have hit his main vein, jugular vein, what you call that right there? And that would have been it for his ass, but it didn't. She come from a prominent family in the county of Wayne, but this happened in the county of Oakland County, right? So she actually got convicted of this. And this dirty cat, while she's away, he gets her debit cards, you know what I'm saying? Little credit card, empty her bank account out or whatnot, and still made that girl pay restitution to him while she was locked up. And again, her family got money. 2000 was a crazy year, period, for many people that I know in this state that we call Michigan. So what I mean to say is Megan and Kelsey cannot now turn around and say, well, we got new evidence and we want restitution from Tory Lanez. No, you were supposed to do that when the dust settled, right? Once he was sentenced, y'all all had lawyers, right? You could have demanded restitution from him then. You don't then turn around and say, oh, I got new evidence. No. So I'm saying it applies to Tory Lanez too. It ain't no new evidence. Ain't no new evidence. If there's a pardon given, it's some dirt in the game. Based on everything that I have bestowed upon you all, that many refuse to go out on their own and vet because they plan which artists they like the best. And because this girl didn't want to admit that she had an intimate relationship with him in the beginning or on national fucking TV. Which, again, I wouldn't have done it either. I wouldn't have lied about it. I just would have cussed Gail King out because Gail King deserved it. Because that ain't Gail King's business. And it damn sure ain't the whole nation or the whole country's business. What I do with my panties. It's just not your fucking business. That's how that should have went. So let's finish with the video right quick. I need to back it up a little bit. This is where I back it up from. Again, this is, graphic. This is graphic karmic debt. So, if you got a soft stomach, you need to close your eyes. Yeah, the Mexican lied. Because he said nobody else was there. We see somebody else walking up and down the steps, staircase, whatever you want to call it. There's a camera obviously recording. See, if you want some visuals to see what happened, you can see what happened in this situation, but you will not get no visual of the shooting of Megan Thee Stallion because it don't even. And it's your boy Sean Kelly. Just a little second.
No, it didn't. No?
They shot out of the car?
The windows were open, that's why it sounded like either way. Yeah, I didn't.
No, they were on my side. The girl opened the door. It was two girls fighting, and then they shot. And she got out of the car and crawled over here.
What's that?
Do you think we can go to jail?
I don't know. We're trying to figure it all out. As long as you guys cooperate with us and you guys tell us what happened, we'll go accordingly, okay? But if you guys are not telling us, if you guys are, then I don't think...
I really cannot go to jail.
Okay.
So as you can see, all Megan is worried about is going to jail because she know it's a gun in play, right? So are you saying that because she lied about getting shot and said she stepped on glass that she should go to jail for that? Come on, y'all. We got to be fair about this shit again. You really got to be fair, especially dealing with the fact that 5 melanated women and girls were shot every day of 2020, equaling 1,871 or something like that. I gave the stats multiple times. Let's be realistic about the situation so we can actually practice prevention. And since the George Floyd murder, police killing our people, the numbers have not decreased, they have actually increased. And with all the false narratives that all of y'all are following is the very reason why this shit has increased and not decreased. Again, in the year 2020, when this girl got shot at by a whole ass nigga, it happened 5 times a day. Except 5 times a day in 2020, melanated women and girls lost their lives. So she's fortunate. I'm not going to say he's lucky that, he didn't end up killing that girl by shooting at her, because that could have happened too. Y'all don't consider none of that because y'all don't give no fucks. That's why the internet is undefeated, because it's a lot of fucking sheeple out here who believe any goddamn thing. I'm not one of them people. Like I said, I've been on both sides of the situation. I'd have been the shooter, and I'd have been the one that caught the ricochets. And I don't want that. I don't want 5 and 6 melanated women getting murdered every day, mostly with guns. A few years back, I showed y'all the brother who was upset with his girl who he got 5 children by. And he jump out his minivan while she's with all 5 children and shoot her 9 times like 50 Cent. And she survived to tell the story. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that happened in 2021. I'm not sure. It's somewhere. It's somewhere in the archives amongst all the lives that I've done over the years, showing you, to me, this is a very serious situation that we as a people have to do something about. But see, it seemed to be people don't care. You caring about the nigga that actually done the shooting. He got too much time. Nah, he got enough time. He got 10 years. 10. And before 10 years go by, he will be eligible for parole. But again, in my city, how we do, if that was one of mine, it wouldn't have been no jail for him. It would have been exactly for him what he did. He would have faced the same consequences that he put both of these young women in. That's what would have happened. We want to care nothing about calling the police. Oh, this guy shot you? Okay. All right. We know exactly where to find him. All right. Street justice, if you want to call it that. I call it community justice. Because a lot of times within our community, our little boys and little girls don't get no justice, which is why 1 out of every 6 of our little boys is sexually assaulted before the age of 18. 1 out of every 4 of our little girls is sexually assaulted before the age of 18. And this is the very reason why a large percentage of them never tell nobody, because they know y'all ain't gonna do shit because y'all don't give a fuck. Does that sound like practicing prevention to you? Again, which is why your babies and your women at a large rate are becoming LMNOPTQUFU. Yes, very much so. Do the math. Do the math. Let's practice prevention. And stop hugging this nigga nuts because he don't deserve it at all. It's people who literally have known me for 20 years plus who I done gave the correct information to, meaning the DA interview, the recorded jail phone call from Tory Lanez. And they won't listen to that, but they'll listen to these bloggers who getting a check for saying that, oh, Tory Lanez ain't do it. He gonna get a pardon or whatever the fuck else that they saying. Playing little snippets of interviews. For example, when the Breakfast Club began to talk about this, oh, they saying there's new evidence for Tory Lanez, and that's it. They don't even play the full little, it ain't even more of a 5-minute clip from the Breakfast Club. They just play that one little snippet. So everybody is like, oh, Charlamagne the God and whatever the other people that's on the show. Yeah, they said there's new evidence. Bitch, you didn't listen to the whole fucking interview. I mean, the entire broadcast. With that one little small portion where they're talking about this particular alleged new evidence, which again was not released within the 36 hours that it was promised to be released. Which to tell you is some BS in the game. But again, I know y'all don't care. Because again, 5 of our women and girls were murdered every day of 2020, the same year that this incident occurred. I'm giving you nothing but the fucking facts. But again, the lie is more entertaining. Way more entertaining. I just don't understand that shit for the life of us. Much as we have been lied to as a people and manipulated as a people and given various different brand names. Oh, now you a Negro. Now you're colored. Now you a Black African American, whatever the fuck. We've been lied to for fucking ever. To the point that y'all don't even want to, not only do you not want to hear the truth, because what I say, you know what I'm saying? It holds weight with people who care about the truth enough for them to go like, let me go see what she talking about. Let me look at some of this. Let me examine this for myself. Rather than listening to the various celebrities and the one politician who's supporting him. Like y'all been dragging SZA. You see what I'm saying? SZA is somebody who got some type of fucking intelligence enough to say, let me look at this case. Let me see what actually, you know what I'm saying? What actually unfolded during the trial. What was said to the police the evening of the shooting. You know, okay, we got three doctors who talked to Megan Thee Stallion, and actually only one who examined her. And the one who did examine her just happens to be the doctor who removed the bullet fragments, right? Like if you, since we talking about the Gail King interview and how she lied about whether or not she had sexual intercourse with Tory Lanez, did you not see the doctor report saying that yes, they actually even showed the bullet fragments that they removed from her feet? Lawyers play a good game. Attorneys play a good game. Their job is to, by any and all means, get their client off. I'll just say it in layman terms to you. So whatever they have to spend, they gonna spend it. But again, it's gonna be hell to pay for this shit. Believe that. It would be even more fucked up if Megan Thee Stallion was just some regular woman from around the way. A regular woman would have not had the support or the finance to defend herself out here in these social media streets. So again, this is actually what she's talking about too. She's not just saying, oh, I can't go to jail. You know, she knows people are going to spend this shit. And they have. And she helped them. She helped them by way of answering that question and not being honest with Gail King, as well as the statement that she made. Forget what she said to the police. Fuck the police. When have we ever cared about whether anybody told the truth to the police? Let's just say that. But the fact that you at the hospital now, right? I seen she's talking to one of the police officers. They're still hounding her because they know that's a bullet wound. Those are bullet wounds that she had, right? But she's still lying to them. So while she's lying to them, she lies to the first two doctors. But the last doctor, who actually has to remove the fragments from her feet, she couldn't lie then. And at that point, after she got out the hospital, she wasn't saying shit about this. The person who was talking about this was Tory Lanez. The person who paid his press team to go out and spin these false narratives was Tory Lanez. And once he made the decision to do that, that's when Megan got on Instagram and was like, you know what? I tried to protect this nigga. When the police came, yep, I lied. I said I stepped on glass because the George Floyd incident had just happened 2 months prior. And for people who are from Los Angeles County, they can tell you how those police, they operate unlike the Detroit police. Those are two different demons, right? The minute she would have said, I got shot, guns would have came out, the whole nine. They would have been treated complete. They was already mistreated. If you look at how they had them spread eagle. You know what I'm saying? She couldn't even spread all the way eagle for their ass because she's injured. So let's get back to the video. Let's get back to this bullshit TMZ shit release. And all they see, TMZ, by old boy who run the show. He's actually an attorney himself. So when they put their spin on shit, they a little smart with it. Yeah, they about getting them views so they can get that check too, just like the bloggers are. But they know that they have, as far as being journalists, they have a certain amount of responsibility for what they say and what they broadcast. So what they merely did is they produce what Tory Lanez attorneys put out here on this website that they got, where it's cap, but it's cap with a spin. Okay.
Do you think we're gonna go to jail?
What's that?
Do you think we're gonna go to jail?
I don't know. We're trying to figure it all out. As long as you guys cooperate with us and you guys tell us what happened, we'll go accordingly, okay? But if you guys are not telling us, if you guys are, then I don't think...
I really cannot go to jail.
Okay.
I cannot have that on my image.
Okay. So how did that happen to you?
Glass.
Glass? Where?
Where we were coming from.
Hey, go get a sheet for
I'm not from here, so I...
Okay.
That's the only place you got shot at? That's the only place you got shot?
I didn't get shot.
Oh, you did it?
No, ma'am. I mean, no, sir.
See, so who told the police that she got shot? Because it certainly wasn't her. The one police lady talked to her. She like, am I gonna go to jail? Because I can't have this. I'm such and such, and you know what I'm saying? Then the other police come up to her like, you the one who got shot? She like, I ain't get shot. Y'all ain't about to be roughing me up, and you know what I'm saying? So let's carry on.
Wait. No, it didn't.
No?
They shot out of the car?
Well, the windows were open, that's why it sounded like either way. Yeah,
No, they were on my side. The girl opened the door. There was two girls fighting, and then they shot. And she got out of the car and crawled over here.
So again, he never states who did any kind of shooting. Understand? Because he did not see it. Now, versus what he said, and this is Sean Kelly during the trial, which is why I say there's no new evidence that has been produced. If you consider James Bradley or Bradley James, who was the driver of Kelsey Harris / Bodyguard during the trial, not during the night of the incident, because during the night of the shooting, Megan's security team wasn't there. And during the night of the shooting, Kelsey Harris did not have a security team. Kelsey Harris is an assistant for Megan Thee Stallion. So Megan Thee Stallion's security team would be Kelsey Harris's team had they been present that night, but they were not. So the statement that Kelsey Harris, bodyguard / driver, is making is based upon, and even Tory Lanez attorneys and the Unite the People staff is not lying about that. The people who put together the petition for the people to sign to help get him a pardon, they didn't lie and say that Kelsey Harris, bodyguard / driver, was there that night and he said that Kelsey. Are you stupid? See, y'all don't even read shit. All y'all listening to is these people who don't give a fuck about what they say because they don't have to be accountable for it because you're not going to hold them to the fire the way I would. But how do I do that with somebody that's in Kansas City and somebody that's in Dallas somewhere or somewhere in Miami spewing all these lies? You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't benefit me to pull up on anybody because this is not one of my relatives who got shot. But had it been, Tory would have felt the wrath. I have to look at it that way, y'all. Because again, and I'm going to say this for the last time, in the year 2020, 5 melanated women and girls were killed every day in 2020 by the hands of a young melanated man. and mostly with guns. So again, this incident could have ended somebody's life. Because this nigga think he can do whatever the fuck he want to do. And he think that he got a point to prove because he's from Canada. According to, allegedly, he said this, and this is the testimony that Kelsey Harris gave to the district attorneys, right? She said that originally when the first person that he threatened to shoot was Kelsey Harris. It was not Megan Pete. He told her, this is what she said. He said, I wasn't there just like you wasn't there. But he said, my nigga, I'm from Canada. We don't play, I'll shoot you. So he threatened to shoot her first. But again, if you didn't look at the records, you didn't look at the transcripts, you didn't look at the statements that was made at the precinct, you didn't look at none of this shit. But you listened to World Star and this hip hop station and all this dumb shit. Instead of looking directly at the available transcripts or the available testimony that was given during the night of the shooting. People not doing that. And at that point, things with me can get real disrespectful. Because I don't have to respect somebody who is refusing to vet information before they let it slide out their fucking mouth. I don't respect that. Because that's not what scholars do. But I realize, for the most part, when we are on the internet, I'm not dealing with people who deal with scholarship. I'm dealing with people who dealing with gossip. You understand? And worried about Diddy case. And worried about Tory Lanez case. But you're not concerned with the fact that, I got to say it again, y'all. 5 melanated women and girls were murdered every day of 2020. Every day. Over 1,800 young women and little melanated girls were murdered during the year of 2020, mostly by way of guns. That is a very cowardly way to have to deal with a woman if you are a man. And I'm pretty sure that 99% of y'all would agree with that at the very least. As a man, do you think that you have to grab a gun? Unless the woman got a knife. Did she have a knife? Did she have a pistol? I know she's taller than him. Was he scared to fight her? Was she even trying to get physical with him? These are questions. These are the questions that you should be asking. Not asking the question, well, he say Kelsey shot her. So let's get back to Kelsey Bodyguard. What he said is that he overheard a conversation in between Kelsey Harris and her husband. That's right, Kelsey Harris is married. Most of y'all didn't know that. He overheard a conversation in between Kelsey Harris and her husband. And during that conversation, he claims that Kelsey Harris said that she shot Megan Thee Stallion. So where the fuck was he at during the trial? Which is the question that people have asked. Those who, like me, who have looked into the case. But the other people who are so dumb that they think that Kelsey Harris security was present the night of the incident, if that's the fact, that nigga would be fired. How is you present during the shooting to see Kelsey shoot Megan and you didn't intervene? Not even that. Okay, you Kelsey Bodyguard, right? So if Kelsey shot Megan, you wouldn't intervene. You may have took the weapon and did away with it, right? But what you wouldn't allow is for Tory Lanez to beat Kelsey Harris' ass. And according to the statements that she made to the precinct, whether or not she lied that even, I don't fucking know. But why would she lie about something like that? Is what you have to ask yourself. Your girl done got shot. You done got snatched up by your weave and drugged and punched and smacked by Tory. Like, y'all I don't get it. This man put hands on one woman and shot the other woman. Drunk out his mind. I don't know what the fuck he was drinking, but that's not an excuse. Just as well as if you was drunk driving and you injured some people because you was out here drunk driving. So what, you was drunk? That don't stop you from facing these charges. And these claims against your ass, these lawsuits that's going to be against you because you was out here drunk driving. So just because he was out here drunk shooting doesn't excuse his behavior. Just because this young woman, or maybe even both of these women, had an intimate relationship with him, doesn't make it okay for him to shoot one and beat the other one ass unless they attacked him. And that's one story that I haven't heard throughout this whole ordeal. No one has said that Megan and Kelsey jumped Tory, and that's why he shot her and beat the other one ass. That would make more sense to me. But he wasn't even smart enough to run that scenario. He running with the narrative of he didn't do it, Jesus did it. And in the beginning, running with the narrative that this girl didn't even get shot. Because clearly we can keep playing the footage where she says, I didn't get shot. The police is asking her for a reason. Obviously, somebody saw something. And that somebody was Kelsey Harris. From what I get from the statements that Kelsey Harris made the evening of this incident, as well as the statements that she made to the district attorneys of 3 months prior to the actual trial, sound very believable, way more believable than her shooting Megan. For what? Megan is cutting her the check at the time. Megan is the one who introduced her to Tory Lanez at the time. Roc Nation and Megan is the one who told Kelsey Harris not to get into an intimate relationship with Tory Lanez. While Tory Lanez is continuously, and his father is continuously dragging Jay-Z and Roc Nation, why the fuck was Tory Lanez at a Roc Nation event sitting next to Megan and Kelsey? This is where he met Kelsey Harris at, was at a Roc Nation event. Since he's this big guy who did his own independent, did you not know he was signed to Interscope? Did you not know that Sean Kingston, the reggae cat, is the one who put Tory Lanez on? Yes, Sean Kingston got Tory Lanez's first record deal, which was with Interscope. But y'all wouldn't know that because y'all don't fucking research shit. You just running around regurgitating a bunch of bullshit. And again, for you, Tory Lanez is the better artist. You would much prefer to support him and promote him and listen to his music. And I don't have no issue with that. But I do have an issue with you all defending a man. And it's not alleged that he shot this woman. He fucking shot her. Get over it is what you're going to need to do, is get the fuck over it. Get over it. Nobody is, the state of California and the Los Angeles Police Department is not going to put they self in jeopardy of being sued by a multimillionaire who has the means to drag this shit out for 2 years the way that he did. Look how long it took before this case even went to trial. Because he got bread. And with that being said, that's more of a reason for them to try to do everything. They didn't even have to do everything by the book because the case was already laid out from them starting from day one. With the statements that, again, that Kelsey Harris made about the situation. And even without her speaking, they had her phone. So, you know, your text messages are timestamped, right? So do the math. The timestamp messages correlates the situation and when it actually happened. Not only that, not only did she send out these text messages, she called one of her people and kept the phone on so they could hear every fucking thing that Tory Lanez said to her and Megan Pete. This is the shit that got him convicted, along with the recorded jail phone call. you know, the phone call that made 50 Cent apologize to Megan Thee Stallion because he was dragging her. And he told y'all he dragged her because she lied about having sexual intercourse with Tory Lanez. But he was like, once he heard that recorded jail phone call with Tory Lanez apologizing and said, yo, I would never move like that. I know I can't take it back. I know Megan will probably never speak to me again. And he asked Kelsey Harris 2 times, what hospital was she in? Why the fuck would he ask her any of this shit if he wasn't guilty of sin? But this is typical. We are good for protecting predators. More so the predators who sexually assault our children. We will protect the fuck out of them. But this situation where people are, it's not, I understand why the bloggers are doing it, because again, this makes for new content for them. And many more views and followers, which means a check for them. But the general populace of people who are following this narrative, all of y'all need, somebody need to put some baby powder in their hand and smack the fuck out you. Because again, if that was your daughter, your sister, your niece, your cousin, your mother, you would feel a hold, especially if it was your daughter. And if you wouldn't feel as I feel if it was your daughter, you deserve to be in jail with Tory Lanez motherfucking ass. That's just what it is. Now, I guess what we gonna do now, we gonna listen at the which I don't have to do. I might just put the link in the chat. This attorney guy, how many million views he got? Let me see. I might throw it up because I didn't do it last time that we was on here. But the lawyer, he goes through the case and he don't see him. He actually said the same thing that I said, which is, I don't see Tory Lanez getting a pardon unless he pay for it. Right? And it's a state case. It's similar to what the brother said about Larry Hoover. Like, Trump commuted his federal case, but he got 200 years at the state level. Tory Lanez's case is a state case. And why he talking about how gangster they is in Canada and he love Canada so much, that's one of the very things that he's very afraid of, is being deported and not being allowed to come back to the United States, or what we have labeled as United States, or Turtle Island, or whatnot, right? That's one thing that he's very afraid of, because this is where he makes the bulk of his money at, is here, not in Canaan land or Canada. This is where he make his money at. This is the culture that he's mimicking. He's not mimicking or representing Canadian culture. He's mimicking our culture. And I still haven't heard the diss track that he did against Kendrick Lamar. Our people so fickle, boy. Y'all so fickle. Weird at. Let me get to it. Let me get here what I came here to do, like Red Man. Where's that? Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Is that the attorney? Yeah, that's him. So, hold on. Let me, okay, I already paused it. So this guy, CLR, Bruce Rivers, he has 1.37 million subscribers. 1,370,000 subscribers is what he has. He released this video 3 days ago, and it has 117,000 views. And the only reason I'm saying this is because if you've been listening to me over the course of the past couple of weeks, that this shit about this fake ass new evidence, which don't exist, is supposed to come out. I've always said that if he receives, from the beginning, I said Gavin Newsom is not going to give Tory Lanez a pardon. 36 hours passed, 72 hours passed, which is 36 times 2, right? 96 hours passed, 100 and some hours passed, and they are just now releasing footage that's already been used in the fucking trial. So again, explain to me how a ring cam footage, which is merely audio, it does not show who shot who. Sean Kelly, who was a witness for the state in the case, is the person who's speaking. And in the so-called new footage, which is audio, right? And Bradley James, or James Bradley, was not there the night. What he is saying is hearsay. He's saying he overheard the conversation. And again, these lawyers is not trying to get fucked up for Tory Lanez. His lawyers are making it clear. The same way that Megan Pete lawyers made it clear that there is no new ring cam footage. The ring cam footage that Tory Lanez attorney and Unite the People and the Congresswoman is talking about is the exact same ring cam footage that was used in the trial that helped convict Tory Lanez. So thus far, my $1,000 is safe. It's still on the table, but it's safe because y'all a bunch of fucking. When I say y'all, I'm talking about the people who are regurgitating false information or shit that you got from the bloggers. I gave you the information with the lawyer. Nobody wants to look at that video. I gave you the video footage of the Kelsey Harris interview by way of the district attorneys. I put the jail phone call recording on Facebook, and we talked about it and used it here on this channel on the lives that we've been doing for the past couple of weeks. I mean, how much of a dick sucker, excuse my French, y'all, how much of a nut hugger do you have to be to deny that jail phone recording conversation in between Kelsey Harris and Tory Lanez? Like, you literally would have to, you might as well be that nigga girlfriend or boyfriend to deny that. Again, 50 Cent had enough sense to come out and apologize, like, yo, once I heard that recording, that phone. Nobody's that fucking dumb. The problem is many people have already ran again with the narrative that Tory Lanez is innocent and he's gonna get a pardon. So being that you've already said that shit 45 times, you sticking to your guns. But when I wave this $1,000 in your face, you still sticking to your guns. Because you know you don't have shit to prove that this nigga is innocent. Nothing. So let's I guess try to set this up. We don't want to see all boy intro and all of that. Let's see. Let me blow it. So Bruce Rivers, criminal. That's the wrong thing. So and he's not just an attorney. Check out his hat.
Was out in a club and he supposedly shot somebody. We're gonna get into that in a second, but before we get to that, this is brought to you by.
Yeah, we gotta, I'm not doing, but y'all see his hat. His cap say stop self snitching. And it gave me the hiccups. I'm gonna have to speed it up because I'm not doing his commercials or whatnot.
Her little foot, or not so little foot, her big old foot, or a little foot that got injured. Anyway, but he had fucking 10 years for that shit. For a new trial or a pardon or whatever they're trying to do. They're making a last ditch effort saying that somebody else fired the weapon and that the bodyguard is supporting that theory now. The problem with that is it was information, or why is it now new? So it's very difficult to to get new information into court to try to redo something that's already happened. So they don't have, I think, much of a shot at that. But there's other news in the Tory Lanez saga. He served a 10-year sentence for shooting Megan Thee Stallion back in 2020, but he was brutally stabbed on May 12th of this year at a California prison. There's a couple of rules in prison.
So, as you can hear, and as I just told you, he released this video 3 days ago. What I said, he is almost saying verbatim the same thing that I said, and this is a bar card carrying attorney, which I'll call it a British accredited registry, barristers accredited registry, however you want to say it. Right? Again, I don't have a bar card. I have no interest in, any of that. The same way I don't have a degree in political science. Doesn't mean you can't study that same curriculum, right? You find you somebody who went to college and paid for all them books and, read them yourself. You see what I'm saying? But let's carry on.
You can either give it up or fight. And my guess is that he didn't want to give it up, if you know what I mean. He suffered a collapsed lung and critical injuries, but he's since stabilized. And he's being transferred to a new facility for safety reasons, as confirmed by his father. His name is actually Daystar Peterson, and his dad is Sunstar Peterson. His legal team claims new evidence in the Megan Thee Stallion case, alleging her former friend Kelsey Harris fired the gun, and supposedly it's supported by a Bodyguard statement, prompting calls for a pardon from California Governor Gavin Newsom. Anna Paulina Luna and Drake, who shared a petition with 270, and her lawyer. A stallion's a male horse. Did you know that? Why would you call yourself a stallion? I don't get it. Megan Thee Stallion and her lawyer, Alex Spiro, have dismissed these claims, asserting Lane's guilt was proven in court while she faces ongoing harassment from his supporters. So following the stabbing, Lane's legal teams and supporters, including Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna and rapper Drake, have intensified calls for Gavin Newsom. Take a look at the guy that stabbed him. So here's the thing. What the fuck is this now? The man.
Finally, an attorney who cussed just as much as he speak of French. Oui. You know what I'm saying? He cussed just as much as me. But let's carry on.
Ciao, good morning. I told him what's up. Give him a little fist bump back.
I just came out in the morning with a shank and said good morning.
Everything is good. We had a little situation the night before and the day before.
So what's the situation the night before and the day before?
So I heard some rumors that he was trying to put money on my head. He felt uncomfortable living next to me. Said I was a threat. So I confronted him. And then I found out the same thing.
No, he lying, because Tory Lanez ain't about to face no man. I'm sorry. I don't see Tory Lanez trying to shank nobody. He trying to get out too bad to try to shank some damn body. I don't buy that. And I'm gonna tell you like this: even if, let's just say, some kind of way through a pipeline, Megan Pete was able to, throw somebody some loot to give to this guy, to do that to Tory Lanez. To me, that's justice. You done shot me? Nigga. Y'all got the game fucked up. I'm trying to told you. Couldn't have been one of mine.
Took advantage of him. Weak. I just threw him all over, and I just kept slamming him and stabbing.
So I already played the video because there is video footage from the prison showing Tory Lanez get stabbed up. So you can rewind the live back if you want to see that, or just Google it because it's all over the internet as well. That's actual evidence. That's actual footage. But this guy who stabbed Tory Lanez 14 times, he already got life. So he gives zero you-know-whats, period. And give a shout out to the brother, Mecca Audio. He made a statement. He did like 20-some years. And he said in prison, like if you got your hands in your pocket and you walking up towards somebody and they can't see your hands, they automatically gonna start shanking you. Obviously, Tory Lanez don't know the rules. He don't know the prison rules. You and this guy, he's hearing that you allegedly put a price on his head or whatnot. And, you standing in front of him or in front of his cell with your hands in your pocket. That's an automatic shank right there in prison law, right? So I just wanted to say that. And, like I said, Mecca Audio, the brother Mecca Audio, he mostly talk about the time that he did, the 20 plus years, for the moving of cocaine, the kilos of the cocaine, you know what I'm saying? And he made that known. He talked about the case and the guy stabbing him, and he was like, that's an automatic. Even if people are watching you, right? Say you on suicide watch or something like that, they have to see your hands at all. If you land in the bed, they want to see your hands to make sure you're not slitting your wrists up under your blanket and things like, because these kind of things happen in prison. So that's like a given prison rule. They don't see your hands, especially if you beefing with somebody and you walking towards them or you somewhere within their circumference. That's an automatic shank. So let's continue.
Sometimes you just don't have anything to lose in prison. If you're serving a life sentence for murder, and if you have a gun case and it's an assault case, you might be designated as high risk. And so this guy here, he evidently didn't give a shit.
Are you trying to kill him?
You stabbed him 14 times. How are you not trying to kill him? And when you see that video, they already told you he got him in the face. He stabbed Tory in the face, in the back of the head. He collapsed his lungs. He was shanking the I saw it. He was jabbing the shit out of him. And peace, God, yes, for sure. That's definitely a culture shock. Where he talking about he from Canada, my nigga. I shoot you. That's what Kelsey Harris alleged that Tory Lanez said to her. So again, Tory Lanez, before he even pulled the gun out of his console, he had already threatened Kelsey Harris and told her that he would shoot her, right? And let's backtrack a little bit. The guy, Sean Kelly, when he mentions the fact that he sees the one girl go back to the car, and then he sees Tory Lanez get in the car, what she said she was doing was trying to, attempting to make some type of distraction so that Tory would come back to the car, right? So she makes the car move a little bit. I don't know if she put the shits in neutral. Her words was she made the car jerk, like just to make it move a little bit to get Tory's attention. You know what I'm saying? Which makes sense. When somebody is drunk out their mind, don't think they don't care about their car, right? The Escalade that they was in or whatnot. Oh, you done got on my car, you making a move, I'm coming back over there. You know what I'm saying? Which kind of fucked over her because he ended up, according to her, dragging her out of the car by her hair, right? So again, he said he was drunk out his mind on a recorded jail call, talking about soon as he walked through the door at the Kardashian people house, he like, yeah, niggas gave me four shots out the door, is what he said. And he tried to be too much like us. Like I said, I'm in Detroit. I've been to Canada. I've been to Toronto. I've been to Canada multiple times throughout my lifetime. The people that are from over there, they don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't be like nigga this, nigga. That's not how they talk, because that's not of their culture. So he just a fraud all the way around, and he's a fucking pussy. I do not like that guy. I just don't.
Trying to kill him? No, I was just trying to have a little tea with him. Give me a break.
And when I felt like a sting in my leg, I felt like, oh, stab me. So I moved back and I kept stabbing more. And I seen that he threw something.
A couple things that don't make sense with his little soliloquy here. He says he was weak. He kept throwing him around like a rag doll. And he went back, and then I kept stabbing him. I mean, it just, what he's saying doesn't make sense.
The guy just kept going. After he was yelling, help, screaming, please help me.
He was yelling help. I mean, he doesn't sound like he's the aggressor here.
I just took him once and I tried protection and said, I'm going to look at me. And then I just let him go. Like, I was saying, like, man, you trying to kill me?
What were you guys like? I know what.
Look at me, motherfucker. Sounds like self-defense to me.
Why would he pick you out of all people to want to put money on your head? Well, what was the beef exactly about?
It was really no beef. He just talked a lot. And I had confronted him a while back.
There was really no beef. I just wanted to get some clout. I wanted to fuck up a celebrity. That's really what it was.
Always saying certain around me, like, I'll take a fade, I'll knife up, I'll put a gun into me. I feel like the second, third time.
I can believe that Tory Lanez type of dude that just, you know what I'm saying? Like when he was talking about the NFTs and, from $1 to $1,000 to $20 a piece, he was selling NFTs for, blah, blah, blah. And then, we get a lot of our people who use that, but I don't know if it was an Instagram video or whatever, but try to use that against Roc Nation and Jay-Z. Tory Lanez is one fucking artist. Whether or not they were able to sign him or become his management or whatnot, that wouldn't break Jay-Z. That wouldn't break him at all. Tory Lanez is one motherfucker. So how does Tory Lanez not getting with Roc Nation and joining their staff or being one of their artists upset Jay-Z and Roc Nation? Like, this shit make no sense. And his daddy is Reverend Pork Chop. I ain't never trusted Reverend Pork Chop or Pastor Pimpin' or Iman Slippin' or Rabbi Pedophile or Father John Pedophile. I don't trust none of them people. The same people that's running with the narrative that Roc Nation did this to Tory Lanez because they was mad because Tory Lanez made all this money. You think Tory Lanez money ain't nowhere near a Jay-Z money. But again, y'all trusting his daddy, who is Reverend Pork Chop, all day. But what's the pastor who was hanging out with Diddy, who y'all drag? Y'all don't drag him. What's the pastor name, y'all, that was hanging out with Diddy at the Diddy parties now? He done stepped down from his congregation and all that. I can't think of his name. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all will drag him. But a nigga who y'all don't know, which is Sunstar Peterson, which is Daystar Peterson, aka Tory Lanez daddy. Y'all trust this nigga who you know nothing about. But you drag the pastor who you can research his background and his current events and who he done did his dirty deeds with. But you don't have no information on Tory Lanez daddy, who is again Reverend Pork Chop, Pastor Pimpin' too. Just like what's old boy name? I cannot think of his name. Let's carry on now.
Yeah, we were cool. We chill, we ate, we drank, we partied, we kicked it. Yeah, we were good.
How much did the guy tell you that he paid to have you killed to get off the yard?
Oh, he said double whatever I was offering, but I never made that offer. That's what I didn't understand. He said that someone told him I offered people money to get rid of him. So he said he would give that person double and some dope and stuff. But truth be told, I never offered no money. Like, why would I offer somebody something I could do? It didn't make sense. But once you yelled and make threats and I'll have you.
All right, that's enough of that. So this is we're gonna listen to a call from Tory Lanez. Let's just see what he says and see how this helps or hurts his case.
Here we go.
I know she probably never ever gonna talk to me ever again, but bruh, I just want you to know, bruh, nigga, I was just so fucking drunk, nigga, I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. That ass. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. Like, that ass, nigga. I'd never do some shit like that, bro. It's just that, nigga, I was just so fucking drunk, nigga, I just didn't even understand what the fuck was going on, bro. Like, so, whatever, bro. But, you know, regardless, that's not gonna make anything right, and that's not gonna make my actions right, bro.
Apparently, later that night, Tory texts somebody. I know you're probably never going to talk to me again, but I generally want you to know that I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart, and I was just too drunk. Nonetheless, shit should have never happened, and I can't change what I did. I just feel horrible. That's all well and good, but how is that going to help with this new evidence?
So again, that text message that Tory Lanez sent to Megan Thee Stallion was used during the fucking trial. You dumb motherfuckers. I'm so tired of y'all with this dumb shit. Like, I'm ready to move on and get to something else, but I can't. It's difficult for me to do that with the combination of me knowing, again, how many melanated women and girls were murdered every day. 5 of our melanated females was murdered every day in the year of 2020 when this took place. This happened in July of 2020, right? So more than 900 prior to him shooting at Megan and shooting her feet or whatnot. Not over 900 melanated females had already been murdered, mostly by guns, by men, specifically by melanated men. So the shit that y'all running around like, I'm too fucking grown. I'm your elder. You should be fucking listening to me, because I'm trying to stop you from looking like a clown and stop the various movements that we have within the conscious community from being discredited for spreading stupid shit like this, right? As well as saying stupid shit like Michelle Obama is a man. So the first thing I typically hit people with when they say Michelle Obama is a man, right? And Obama called her Michael, right? Is this. Okay, so you believe Michelle Obama is a man, right? Yeah, I believe Michelle Obama is a man. I say, okay, well, if you believe that Michelle Obama is a man, you also have to believe that Venus and Serena Williams were born males. Now, most of y'all are so deep off into this shit. Many, and I'm talking about conscious, so-called conscious, awoke people. Now, most of y'all will say, yeah, they're men too, right? That's what most of them do. You know why? Because the very same neo-Nazi skinhead satire documentary that was produced about Michelle Obama being born a male, it also includes a lie about Venus and Serena being born males. So again, if you believe Michelle Obama's a man, you also have to believe that Serena and Venus Williams were born males, because the documentary that started all of this bullshit states that all 3 of them were males, unless you just now learning about this shit in 2020 and 2025 and 2023. When that documentary was released around 2014, I want to say. It could have been released even earlier, but it didn't really get a lot of exposure until 2014. And 2014 is the year that I began to debunk, that lie. You know why? So let's go back a little bit. I don't care if we're talking about Dr. Phil Valentine or Bobby Hemmett or Steve Coakley, or name other people who were prominent within the conscious community during the early 2000s, like 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004. These are all scholars and master teachers who many of us look up to, right? And not one time did none of these motherfuckers ever say that Venus and Serena Williams were actually boys. This shit come from racist skinhead cracker motherfuckers who have always done this and said that successful, melanated, rich, intelligent women, especially those of us who are kind of tall, they have always accused these women of being men. This has been a KKK go-to forever. But again, none of these scholars and master teachers during the early 2000s ever said that Venus and Serena were born men. So to fast forward to 2014, 15, 16, all the way up to 2025, any of these elders who are pushing that agenda need their ass whooped. I give 0 fucks. Anybody who is pseudo is pseudo. I don't give a fuck how long they've been out here doing lectures or writing literature. If you pseudo, you pseudo. Because again, in the early 2000s, none of you conscious motherfuckers was saying that shit about Venus and Serena. Y'all was just like me, happy that Venus and Serena was whipping them white girls' ass in tennis. You was clapping your hands for Venus and Serena. So to be a two-faced motherfucker right now and turn around because some racist ass crackers put out a satire documentary because, number one, they was mad that it was a melanated family in that White House, and they just as dumb and ignorant and twisted as a lot of you niggas. Because if you do the research on Obama, you find out that Obama in the Bush family, Obama's granddaddy is first cousins with the daddy Bush. His lineage go back to Prescott Bush. That is a bloodline. Obama been knew more than half of his life that he was going to sit in that Oval Office. The same way that George W. Bush knew that he was going to sit in that Oval Office. The only difference in between Barack Obama and George Bush is Barack Obama got a black daddy, right? And Barack Obama wanted to be in that Oval Office. George W. Bush did not want to be in that Oval Office. He didn't want shit to do with politics. And if you research his history, you'll find out it was his daddy them that forced him into politics. George, the son, George Bush, he liked to drink beer, sniff cocaine, blow him a joint, and kick the shit. That's what he likes to do, which is why him and Michelle Obama is so cool. George Bush is got a better relationship with Michelle Obama than he has with Barack Obama, because him and Michelle can sit back, have a glass of wine, and talk about all these faggot ass, fake ass fucking politicians that they don't like, because they don't like the political arena. And these are things that Michelle Obama has voiced. And these are things that George Bush has written in some of his memoirs about him not wanting to be involved with politics, but his daddy made sure that him and his brother, that's a part of your lineage. Your granddaddy is Prescott Bush. Being in the CIA after we done made all these millions of dollars ain't enough. Your granddaddy laid down the foundation for you to set your ass in that Oval Office and be a governor as well, and that's the fuck you gonna do. Daddy Bush laid down the law to Jeb Bush and George Bush Jr. That's how that shit went, or George Bush II. That's how that went. You don't have to believe me. Do what a scholar does and go look the shit up. You see all the pictures, the unphotoshopped pictures of George Bush holding hands with Michelle Obama and hugging all on her and shit. They cool as shit. Barack in the background with his square ass. Like, well, I know why y'all get along like that. Yeah, because they don't really like that political arena like that. They like fucking kicking it. Now, granted, Michelle is from the south side of Chicago, from raised with her mother and father in her household her entire fucking life. Don't omit the fact that Michelle Obama, by way of her paternal lineage, I made the mistake and said maternal lineage. When me and D Calico, my brother D Calico, was doing a mock debate back in 2018, 2019, somewhere around in there, right? But it's her paternal family, the Robinsons, who are Gullah Geechee heritage. That woman and Barack is really from two different worlds, outside of the fact that Michelle Obama has a degree at Princeton and at Harvard, right? Very intelligent woman. So let's carry on. I'm gonna get all off into some other shit, and I want you to finish hearing what this attorney says about Tory Lanez dumb ass. Not only did he make that recorded he talked on the recorded line from the fucking precinct, he sent Megan Thee Stallion a text apologizing, saying some of the same shit. So all of you dumb motherfuckers that's still out here pushing this narrative, when this shit come to a head, right? When it come, what I mean by when it come to a head, when Megan Javon Pete, because that's that girl full name, Megan Javon Pete, born on February the 15th, the day before my birthday, February the 16th, when her attorneys start stepping to all of these motherfuckers the way they did to old girl who Tory was cutting the check for, who was putting all that false information out in the beginning, saying that Kelsey Harris was the one who shot Megan. Megan attorney shut all of that shit down. That bitch is irrelevant right now. And out here begging for motherfucking donations. She no longer has a fucking viable YouTube channel or none of that shit. because Megan lawyers shut that shit down. The next step is going to be to sue Tory Lanez, which Megan should have did from the fucking gate, trying to save a face, as well as I understand this is a traumatizing situation for her. But that wouldn't have stopped me from making that nigga pay me restitution. Ain't nowhere in the fuck. Me knowing that I don't have no brothers, no big cousins, my father done passed, that can get at that nigga. Oh, he would have been paying me restitution big time. Period. So it's going to be some repercussions behind all the little fuck shit that this nigga doing, trying to get out. His best bet would have been to cut the check to Trump and let Trump lean on Gavin Newsom to pardon him. Because again, this is a state case. He's not a Larry Hoover. Again, Tory Lanez is not a Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover had a federal case, right? He was serving federal time and state time. He got 200 years worth of state time. At this time, it's only been, and if you ask me, I can't say, because when Larry Hoover was convicted and incarcerated, I wasn't even born. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know who all he murders or whatever he actually is responsible for. So I can't say whether I think he should get out or not. Now, whether or not he's rehabilitated, only he knows that. Again, whether or not Larry Hoover is fully rehabilitated and will be about the people and will be beneficial to our communities, only he knows that, right? So I'm not going to say, yeah, they should let him out. I don't know, because if he's responsible for murdering a teenage boys and all this shit that he's accused of, then he need to stay where the fuck he at. Period. I don't give a fuck who like it and who don't like it. Again, if he was responsible for murdering your brother or your father, right, or your uncles, you don't want that motherfucker out. Stop hugging people nuts who don't deserve your support. Stop promoting narratives that are not about preventing our women and children from being in harm's way or from being fucking murdered. The fuck is wrong with y'all? Fucking retarded motherfuckers. Excuse my French. I'm from Dey-Twah. I'm from Detroit. I habla a lot of French. Sometimes Espanol too. Tú and tú. ¿Cómo estás?
Evidence. It's not going to help him at all. So this Peterson begging Pete and Harris to keep quiet, offering each bribe $1 million. So let's see a statement from Tory Lanez's legal team regarding the new evidence.
Not long ago, Unite the People was approached by a gentleman named Bradley James. Mr. James informed us he was working as the bodyguard and driver for Ms. Kelsey Harris during Mr. Peterson's trial. As such, he was in close proximity and he had privy to conversations she was having with her husband and others. Mr. Peterson.
So what I've been telling y'all for the past couple weeks, again, Bradley James Bradley, this is Tory Lanez's legal team speaking right here. And they're telling you that he was not present during the shooting. He was her bodyguard / driver during the Tory Lanez trial. And he claims that he overheard a conversation in between Kelsey Harris and her husband. But again, y'all don't give no fuck. You don't. Because if you did, we wouldn't have as many of our women and children being sexually assaulted and murdered on a daily basis. On a daily basis. We probably up to 2,000 now on an annual basis. But on a daily basis, more than 5 melanated girls and women, especially here in Detroit. Let me talk to you. It's a guy here who was sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl, right? Got her pregnant, tried to perform an abortion on her by using fucking antifreeze. What about the guy who dressed up with a blonde wig to kill his girlfriend? What about the guy that I showed y'all the other night, who his girlfriend moved on and got engaged to another guy, and he stormed up in their house and shoot him and her? Shoot her multiple times. Now her hand is fucking amputated. She got to have a fucking prosthetic hand. This is real shit. And y'all around here pushing fake shit? And you not even getting a check for it. My homeboy Lovejoy, Charles Lovejoy, who I've been going back and forth with about this occasionally. My God, you not getting a check to be hugging that nigga Tory Lanez nuts and forsaking your women and fucking children. But you wouldn't understand that because you don't have no children, according to you. So you don't give no fucks. I do. I do. I'm a mother. I got nieces and nephews. Huh? I got sisters and aunties. Which at the very least, I know you do too. So you mean to tell me if your mother is out and about in the city of Detroit with a guy and one of her homegirls, and your mother come home on crutches because this nigga then shot her on her feet, you wouldn't have a problem with that shit? This is the problem. We got so much self-hate in us that when you got self-hate, you barely give a fuck about yourself. So it's impossible for you to give a fuck about your women and children, huh? Y'all the kind of niggas that need to be locked the fuck up with Tory Lanez. Period. You need to be right in there with his motherfucking ass. Getting stabbed up fucking 14 times. Again, the fact that your women and children, or our women and children, for the most part, are unprotected out here. They're the #1 human traffic victims in the world, Craig. Not just in Detroit. And Detroit is a big place where human trafficking takes place because it's a bridge and water in between us and Canada. So it's easy to transport women that came through and been kidnapped from other nations and then transport women and children who were kidnapped right here in Detroit and human traffic them all over the fucking world. This shit is a problem right here where we are at. And this is the reason why your women and children at a high growing rate are LMNOPTQ than a motherfucker. Right now, you got girls in the 6th and fucking 7th grade holding hands and kissing us. Who the fuck, when we was in middle school, did you ever see? Come on, y'all. We gotta fucking do better. But until we do better, I'm gonna be on y'all ass. I don't give a fuck. I can't. And it's not just because I'm a survivor. And it's not just because I done caught ricochet bullets. And it's not just because I done had the bus off. But all of those are factors. And again, when I was a teenager, it was 1 in every 5 of our women had been sexually assaulted before the age of 18. Now it was 1 in every fucking 4. All of this shit is relative to this fucking case. And it shows y'all don't give a fuck about women. I don't give a fuck about Megan twerking. I don't give a fuck about the fact that she had sexual intercourse with Tory Lanez and had a relationship and trauma bonded with this whole ass nigga. Because just like she lost her mother had passed, his mother had passed. The same way my mother had passed. I don't have a mother. So I'm super protective of mine while I'm here so that they know that they are fucking loved. But what can I expect from niggas that don't even love they fucking self? That you would be okay with a man fucking shooting a woman and you ain't even getting a check. You just out here hugging this nigga nuts. You ain't getting fired. I'm offering you $1,000. And then one of you bitches, not even none of these people who run these fucking blogs, none of them stepped up. Not none. So let's finish listening to this lying ass lawyer month. He's telling some truth because he's telling y'all that the guy, the bodyguard, James Bradley, wasn't there during the incident. He's merely regurgitating a conversation that he allegedly heard in between Kelsey Harris and her husband. But what I implore you to do is go listen to the district attorney's interview with Kelsey Harris prior to Tory Lanez trial. That's what the fuck you need to go do. We did it already. We did it. I did a live on it. I think it was a previous live that we did. You need to go look at that. Some actual evidence, because it's coming out of somebody who was an actual witness to the fucking shooting.
Peterson, I'm sorry, Mr. James informed us he was not under a non-disclosure agreement or confidentiality agreement and was free to speak with Unite the People, and that he was doing it because his conscience had in prison for something he did not do. Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was witness to the conversation Ms. Harris had, where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times, Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times.
If that's the case, where the hell were you during the trial?
In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun. This statement aligns the statement of the only non-party witness to the case, Mr. Sean Kelly, who at trial testified he saw 2 women fighting, 2 men break up the fight, 1 man grabbed the other one's arm. Gunshots came from the passenger side. Passenger side is where Ms. Harris was sitting. This further...
Man, what kind of demonic motherfucker, and I'm with Megan on that, what kind of demonic spirit would you have to not only shoot a woman, but blame another woman for doing it? And keep in mind, Los Angeles County Police Department don't give a fuck if they locking up a melanated man or a melanated woman. Whoever is the most evidence point towards being the assailant is the motherfucker who going to jail. In this day and age, after being sued by Rodney King, after OJ beat the fucking case, understand, they have took measures to make sure that they win in every goddamn scenario possible. Tory Lanez has too much motherfucking money to go to. First of all, he's a pussy. He not taking no fall for no woman shooting no motherfucking body. That nigga, he wouldn't have been bribing them or attempting to bribe Megan and Kelsey. He wouldn't have been sending out them text messages, and he wouldn't have made that jail phone call apologizing, and he wouldn't have continuously be asking, what hospital was she in? What hospital was she in? That nigga's a fucking pussy. We know females right here in Detroit that got more heart than that nigga. Come on, y'all. This is some clown show Betty shit if I ever seen it. And he got y'all behaving. Many of the people who are supporting him. You understand? Y'all some clown show Betty motherfuckers right with that nigga. So far as I'm concerned, you need to be in prison right with his ass. Y'all are willing to hold Megan accountable for lying about sleeping with this nigga and lying for him. Don't you realize that her lying and saying that she stepped on glass, or it was glass that cut her feet and she didn't get shot? You don't realize that was her not just protecting herself, but that was her protecting him. And when she finally spoke out and got fed up and said that nigga shot her, what really got me is when she made this statement. She said that she mentioned her mother, her father, and her grandma. She said that they was with her, protecting her. Where we come from, people with knowledge of self, we give praise to the ancestors all the motherfucking time. So when she said that, I'm not gonna lie, that got at my heart. I was like, she didn't say, I thank Jesus that I came out that shit safely. No, she said, I thank my mama, my grandma, and my daddy. Again, Megan Thee Stallion didn't thank Jesus that she came out that situation with her life. She gave praise and honor to her ancestors, being her father, her mother, and her grandma. That's something people with knowledge of self say all day. She ain't say, I thank Jesus, oh Father God, Lord. No, she ain't say none of that shit. When she finally got fed up with that nigga and his PR team putting it out there that she didn't get shot and that she was lying about getting shot, because that's what they was pushing at first, right? But like I told y'all, once you tell one lie, you're going to have to tell 50 more lies to cover up them other motherfucking lies or that truth that your bitch ass avoided. The same way that Dwight York did us for fucking 30 plus years. Dirty motherfucker. He another nigga that's exactly where the fuck he's supposed to be at that y'all don't like me speaking about. And like I said, I don't give a fuck. I care more about those women who were underage girls and their children who he assaulted. Because again, a minor cannot give consent to have sexual intercourse with anybody, not even another minor. And not only did he do that, he exposed them women and children to herpes. And I'm talking about Dwight York. And I don't give a fuck. Because I used to follow that nigga and be hugging his nuts the same way some of you dum-dums are still hugging that nigga nuts. Like I told y'all, some of the literature that he put out here over the past 40 years is right and exact. And the literature that is not right and exact, you throw it in a trash can the same way you throw his motherfucking ass in the trash can. Because he is not the originator of none of the information that he put out here. He was a plagiarizer. You could have got all that information on yourself without that motherfucker. And not to mention, he dragged every fucking leader that we ever had. From Malcolm to Clarence the 13X to Noble Drew Ali. Huh? He dragged every fucking leader that we had and then turned around and stole all their shit and plagiarized all of their fucking knowledge. It's what the fuck he did. But a lot of y'all wouldn't know that because you just started following that nigga 5 or 10 or 15 years ago. When I was hip to who he was, actually in 1988, when I was in fucking middle school, I knew who the fuck he was, right? By way of hip hop. But it wasn't until 1991 and 1992 when I got my hands on a Pale Man in the Bible. The first time I heard the words Ashkenazi. And Khazarian came by way of Dr. York. But guess what? That came by way of a books that he fucking plagiarized. I could have got that knowledge without that motherfucker. Oh, I'm done. I'm done even talking about this shit. The lawyer then told y'all Tory fucked up. The lawyer on the screen showed y'all the text messages that Tory sent. The same text messages that Tory sent to Megan Thee Stallion. He also played the recorded jail phone call that Tory Lanez dumbass made to Kelsey Harris. And all of that information was used in the trial, which played a part in him fucking getting convicted. Even if the nigga Sean Kelly, which if you heard him talk on the TMZ video or the Tory Lanez people website, a lawyer website that they set up for him, even if he didn't say what he said in the trial, Tory Lanez would have still got fucking convicted based off of the mountains of other fucking evidence. So I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to my brother Willie D from the Ghetto Boys. I want to give a shout out to Bun B from the Underground Kings. Both of them brothers is from Houston. And they hold Megan Thee Stallion down, right? I want to give a shout out to SZA. Because again, this ain't about Megan Thee Stallion for me solely. This is about our women and children and these fucking predators who've been getting away with hell for decades. And most of you pussy niggas that's hugging Tory Lane nuts is the same niggas who knew your Uncle Ray Ray sexually assaulted your mama when she was a little kid, and sexually assaulted both of your little sisters and your little brother, and you never did shit. Y'all them kind of niggas. You definitely them kind of niggas. I know you is. Because ain't no way in the fuck. No way. Even this is the point. Again, none of us was there. Not one of us was there. Again, the only people was there was Quan, Tory Lamez, again, Tory Lamez, Lamez, Megan Pete, and Kelsey Harris. Nobody the fuck else was there. People heard gunshots. People heard gunshots. And this girl had bullet fragments taken out of her feet. What reason in the world? Look here. I'd have been in a situation. The reason, my group wasn't signed to Motown Universal Records back in 1998 is because one of my homegirls who was in the group, who was supposed to be like a sister to me, was fucking my ex behind my back. But now one time did we get into it as to where we would shoot one another over no nigga. So you can throw that shit out the window. There's no reason for fucking Kelsey to fucking shoot Megan over Tory, little midget, Napoleon complex having ass. It only makes sense to dumb motherfuckers who don't vet information, or people. It don't even make sense to the people who are getting the biggest checks for pushing that narrative. They don't give a fuck about Megan the same way they don't give a fuck about your daughters, your nieces, your mother, your grandmother. They don't give a fuck about none of y'all. All they care about is a check. The same way Tory Lanez don't give a fuck about none of y'all who signed that goddamn petition to get him pardoned. He don't give a fuck about none of you dumb motherfuckers. He don't. If he gave a fuck about y'all, he would have gave a fuck to respect himself enough to respect them two women who was out with him on that night enough not to fucking injure either one of them. Instead, he telling them, oh, I'm from Canada. I'm a real nigga, bitch. I'll shoot you. We gangsters. How the fuck is you telling somebody from Houston that you from Canada and you more gangster than them? If you don't get the fuck out of you, take your bitch ass back to Canada. You and Drake. Y'all go somewhere and have some fucking bar mitzvahs or something. You ain't about that life. And you proved it when you shot a woman. Again, I got the $1,000 on the table still. Especially for anybody that want to debate this Michelle Obama is a man shit. I got a rack for you. Prove it. Prove it. Prove it. You can't. So peace be upon him. Like Richard Gregory or Dr. Dick Gregory, as y'all call him. He said you sound retarded saying that shit, calling Michelle Obama a fucking man. And he said even if he believes some shit like that, he wouldn't dare utter it out his lips. You know why? Because he's a man to be respected. Any nigga who I ever hear say that shit, I will never respect you. You's a bitch ass, clown ass nigga. I don't give a fuck if you used to be my brother. You's a bitch ass nigga. And you know exactly where you can come see me at. But I'd rather you put this $1,000 on the table with my $1,000 and we debate it like scholars do. But how would a man look debating whether or not a woman who it is 1,000 pictures of her as a child, as a minor, as a little girl, clenching her daddy hand, standing next to her daddy when she's a baby, sitting on her parents' lap, and her brother holding her hand. You niggas ain't never had no love like that. That's what the fucking problem is. You ain't never had no fucking love. And you bitches, you females that's out there saying Michelle Obama is a man, you ain't never had no family love you like that. You ain't got no brothers who love you like that. You ain't had no father. You didn't grow up with your father and your mother clinging to your father because you are protected. Michelle Obama grew up protected by her brother and her fucking father. You bitches is some fucking scallywags. You ain't never been protected like that. Because had you been protected like that, you wouldn't dare utter no shit like that out your lips. You wouldn't be looking at no AI fucking video with no voice over video where Barack Obama is talking about Obamacare and how a man named Michael thanked him for Obamacare because he was a cancer patient. You would rather listen to these neo-Nazi skinhead motherfuckers who put that fake ass shit out here. But you're not smart enough to vet that information and find out its source. See, I'm intelligent. I feel funny even fucking saying that. Not because I don't think I'm intelligent, but because I'm accustomed to the elders saying that about me, right? I'm accustomed to the elders bigging me up and telling me I'm smart. You understand? Me even challenging the elders on some of the shit that they were saying. Nobody ever did that. Everybody always sat at their feet and just sat there for, I ain't gonna say everybody, because a teacher is supposed to produce better teachers. They supposed to have students that exceed them in knowledge, especially knowledge of self, right? But by me having the capability after so many years to exceed my fucking teachers, most of my teachers paid homage to me, which made me very uncomfortable. But now that I'm an elder, I understand it. I'm supposed to produce scholars who exceed me, not ones who just keep sitting at my fucking feet. I don't know what fucking school that y'all come from. I know the biggest problem is the fact that most of us, for example, many of us were raised as Baptist Christians or Seventh-day Adventists or Jehovah's Witnesses or Sunni Muslims or Orthodox Muslims or Muslims out of the Nation of Islam. A lot of my close friends were born with ills and bays attached to their names because their parents have been members of the Moorish Science Temple of America forever. But the problem is, when you complete that particular theology and that particular doctrine, you're supposed to go to the next. You're not supposed to trap yourself in that one fucking chamber of knowledge and then come and try to tell me what the fuck I'm wrong about or what I know and don't know. You the bitch that don't know shit because you're the one who decided to trap yourself into the doctrine of being a Hebrew Israelite by way of the Talmud or the Tanakh or the Torah. You made that dumbass decision. I did that already. I let that shit go from 1995 all the way up to 2003. I wasn't shit but an Israelite or a Hebrew Israelite, if you will, right? But once I mastered all that, I traveled on to the next chamber of knowledge and then to the next chamber of knowledge and then to the next chamber of knowledge. I didn't allow myself to be trapped in one chamber of knowledge, but then gonna try to chastise some fucking body else. You can't chastise me because you ain't got the knowledge I got. Even if you're running around here talking about some, oh, I'm a Moor. Okay. So what else do you know? What else did you study? I can hurt your feelings real bad. You don't have to be a Moorish Science Temple of America Moor for me to hurt your feelings. I carried that flag for the longest. And guess what? I'm traveling on to the next chamber of knowledge. I'm not leaving myself trapped in one chamber so I can be a dumbass like your dumbass. That's not how I was taught. We're not doing that. But come try to fuck with me. I got something for your ass. Guaranteed. Guaranteed I got something for you. The minute you step up and call yourself trying to spank me, on some more shit, I got something for your ass. Just know that. So please don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. I'm begging you not to do it to yourself. Because if you do, this can of worms that I fucking open up is going to make you cry like a bitch when you get in that bed at night. I guarantee you will. I guarantee it will. Guarantee it will. Unless you make the choice not to research what I say to you. But if you research what I say to you, you're gonna cry like you're gonna curl up like a little baby and you're gonna cry. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. I got $1,000 on it. That's my new word. I got $1,000 on it. Because again, we have what we call dirty Moors, right? And it extends past some of our ancestors who were being called Moors. Understand, we wasn't running around talking about some I'm a Moor. All of these labels are things that others called us, period. The only difference in between me saying I'm black or I'm an African American versus me saying that I'm a Moor is the fact that when I'm saying I'm a Moor and I'm conveying that to any of these Europeans or any of these municipalities or local government or state government or federal government, when I say I'm a Moor to them, that shit is on paper and they are subservient. So how y'all say that word? To that. That means I'm the master, I'm the landlord, I'm the mistress, and you the fucking slave. Right? Which is why they don't like us using that shit. Which is why I still use it, but I'm not trapped in that box of knowledge because I know some of the dirty shit that some of them was doing. So you come at me if you want to, I'm gonna make you cry like a little girl because it goes beyond just some of our ancestors being dirty Moors as ways, as far as letting these European nations tie within the vine, within their harems, and them impregnating some of these European women. Therefore, those children became heirs to the throne, which is why we having such a difficult problem right here and right now reclaiming shit. One of the reasons, the main reason is us. Is us. We refuse to be about us. Every half of the people who call themselves conscious right now or call themselves a Moor is out here hugging Trump nuts. In my book, you ain't got no motherfucking knowledge on the scale of you even being in the realm with me when you running around hugging Trump nuts. And it would be no different if Biden had got into office and you was hugging his nuts. I would say the same shit to you. Democrat or Republican, them people is cousins. They are a bloodline. They came here to do business until they surprised they became the most wealthiest criminal enterprise on the fucking mother plane. So for you to promote or support either party, administration, either wing of the bird shows me that you're not that bright. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care. And the biggest of master teachers and the people who have the biggest followings will tell you, I don't give a fuck. If I can check them, imagine what I do to you. And these is people that have known me in some cases more than fucking 2 decades. And I'm on their ass for hugging Trump nuts. So imagine how I feel about you. I don't give a fuck. Again, until they put somebody in that, or we put somebody in that Oval Office who balanced the books by way of cutting the checks, I'ma drag whoever sit in that Oval Office. I don't care if it was your mama. I don't care. This is the page that we all need to be on. Until we all get on this page, everybody gonna shit on us. We gonna be the least and the last. What nation of people that live, or excuse me, domicile and reside inside of Turtle Island, who is still only holding less than 2% of the nation's wealth, but make up allegedly 13% of the nation population. Therefore, at the very least, we should hold 13% of this nation's population, but we cannot, hold at least 13% of this nation's wealth. But you know why we don't? Because we still full of fucking self-hate. You motherfuckers support a Canadian motherfucker over a melanated woman who you can trace her whole goddamn lineage. We talk all this Washita and Creole and Louis and Anna. Did you not know an interesting fact? That Megan Thee Stallion people come from Louisiana. Creole, Washita, the whole nine, just like Michelle Obama is fucking Gullah Geechee by blood. But you gonna side with these neo-Nazi skinhead motherfuckers over Michelle Obama and these dumbass niggas who need to be in jail with Tory Lanez. You gonna side with Tory Lanez over a bloodline that's indigenous to this fucking land. Y'all need your ass whooped. And soon as I hit this lotto, I don't give a fuck if it's lotto 47. I'm doing pull-ups on particular people. I'm doing pull-ups. Because y'all need your ass whooped. For real. I'll take that fine and that 30 days in jail. I'll take that. Just to pull up on you. I'll take that. Guaranteed. A 30-day fast always does me good. I ain't never got past 22 days, y'all. I ain't gonna front. 22 days is the longest fast I've ever done, right? But I'll take that. I don't give a fuck. I know I got an out date, and it ain't 10, it ain't 8. How long Tory been locked up, right? It ain't 7 years from now. I won't be sitting up waiting on fucking parole. I won't lie about what the fuck I pulled up on you. I pulled up on you, put the baby powder on my hands, and smacked the shit out both of you. I fried your jaws because you deserved it. I fried your jaws because you deserve it. You are a disgrace to your own fucking people, to your women and children, again, who are the most human trafficked beings on this mother plane, barring none. But you siding with a nigga again. Those who kill and sexually assault your women and children more than anybody else on this mother plane. Y'all quick to say, oh, it ain't the white man, we do it to yourself. Well, guess what? It ain't the white man that's out here molesting your little boys and little girls. It ain't the white man that killed 5 of your melanated women and children every day of 2020. You right, it wasn't the white man that did that. It was a Tory Lanez ass type nigga who did it. It was the type of nigga who impregnated a 13-year-old girl and tried to use antifreeze to give her an abortion and end up killing her. And denied the shit. And went to court and was like, hey, yep, y'all can see my phone. Because his dumbass thought, because he erased the fucking messages out his phone, that they weren't going to be able to re-pull that shit up. Just like your boy Tory Lanez dumbass. So I guess dummies follow dummies. Because this is what I see. I see a bunch of dumb motherfuckers following a bunch of other dumb motherfuckers. I see a bunch of sheeple following people who getting a check cut to them, but you ain't getting a crumb. You ain't getting a cent. You just a natural inbred hater of yourself and your women and children. Because best believe, when you hate a woman, you hate babies too. Right? When you hate women, melanated women, you hate melanated babies too. That ain't a far stretch. It may not be 100%. But for the most part, most men that I know that have problem with women and don't like women, most of you motherfuckers owe 50,000, 60,000, 70,000 in child support. And y'all want to drag the women, right? But you didn't have sense enough to wrap it up. You know you were fucking a hood rat. I don't have no sympathy for none of you niggas. I just don't. You knew you was fucking on a hood rat. And if you didn't know that she was a hood rat, you put your penis in her raw way too soon, bruh, is what you did. I know women that's on child support. I don't have sympathy for none of you motherfuckers. The same way I don't have no sympathy for these women who be out here grooming these little boys and these little girls who are sexually assaulting these women out here, sexually assaulting these little boys and little girls. Your ass need to be locked up. You see, this the difference. At least with Tory, I can say, okay, you shot a woman. Prison is where you belong. But when it comes to pedophiles, every last one of you motherfuckers need to be hung. Dr. York should have been hung. He shouldn't have been given 125 years. That nigga should have had a rope tied around his neck and hung from a fucking tree. But niggas was too busy hugging his nuts and letting him fuck their wives and their daughters. I said it. I said it. Him, Polite, what's the other guy? Jamal Rashad, whatever the fuck his name is. And I ain't even thoroughly even looked into his fucking case. Right? But I see the brainwashing that's done. People who, and I'm saying like this, a family member of mine, when they found out that the Rashad, whatever the guy name is, the guy who ain't did shit but read a bunch of Dr. York books and shit, right? And out here regurgitating that same knowledge that I was getting 20 and 30 fucking years ago, right? The minute the shit come out about him actually being in prison while y'all just now looking at his videos 2, 3, 4, and 5 years after this nigga been locked up, you didn't even know he was in prison for sexual assault of a child. Somebody in my family was like, as soon as they heard that, he ain't do that. How the fuck do you know? See, this is what we do. We forsake our children and our women for motherfuckers that we don't even know personally. And sometimes for people in our own family who we very well know personally. But you're not going to believe the children. You're going to believe this nigga or this bitch over your own babies. And again, this is why your women and children are gay as fuck. I'm just going to say it blunt since I've been doing so much cussing, I don't care. They confused as fuck. And we making them confused. These babies go to grandma, go to mama, and in some cases go to daddy and say, Uncle Ray Ray did this, or our babysitter did this to me, or touched me here and there. And you don't believe the child. I done seen a woman who was a former exotic dancer get with a dope dealing guy. She already got a 13-year-old daughter, right? So she get out of that lifestyle and she started working at General Motors, right? So this man has an opportunity to be alone with her daughter while she doing 10 and 12-hour shifts at GM. This girl goes and tell her mama, hey, he did this, that, and the third. Or he propositioned, or whatever the fuck it was. What you think mama do? Deny her own fucking child for a nigga. And this shit happens hundreds of times a day. All across this fucking nation. So I'm staying on y'all ass. Because I'm not the only one that knows that this shit goes on. I'm not the only one that knows about it. But I'm one of the only people who will speak on it. And let me get his last shout out, which I'm going to have this brother on here soon. My brother, Irritated Genie. Looking forward to having him come on here so he can get on y'all ass without cussing. Because he don't cuss like how I cuss because I'm from Dey-Twah and he not. I'm sure that ain't the only reason. But we got to do something about this, y'all. Because our women and children being LMNOPTQ confused, going against nature. And as they continue to go against nature, we will cease to exist. That's how serious this shit is. Imagine a planet without us. Imagine a planet without us. This planet would cease to exist. So if we don't start taking this shit serious and taking some preventive measures, we will cease to exist. Man, I can't do it, y'all. I'm not fucking with y'all. I'm so not fucking with y'all with this blaming another woman for shooting another woman. But this nigga is in jail and you got every excuse in the world for this nigga. You running around regurgitating neo-Nazi skinhead propaganda and you think I'm going to respect you the way I used to respect you? No. You on a hit list. Each and every last one of y'all that's out here promote the same way I found out the source of that information is the same way you get your bitch ass on the internet every goddamn day and spew a bunch of self-hate. You could have got your bitch ass on the internet and researched that fake ass information that you saw instead of repeating it. So I'm holding y'all accountable. Those of you who are guilty of committing those violations, I'm holding you accountable. I done called out names. Many names. I done put the money on the table. What y'all want me to say? 10 racks? I ain't got 10 racks to be fucking with y'all like that. But 1,000, I got 1,000 all day. Got 1,000 for every bump on your face. Give a fuck about that. But when I win, I want my fucking money the same way that if this was Fantasy Island and you could possibly win, if this was Pseudo Island and you could possibly win, you gonna want your money. I want my money. I did the free mock debate already. I'm not doing no fucking debates for free no more. Not about that, because of the fact that, again, I already did it for free. It ain't about me being money hungry. It's about, are you serious? Are you taking this shit serious? And if you are willing to, at the very least, put $1,000 on the table, I will consider you to be serious. And it will make me study even harder. Right? Because I don't know what you got hiding behind your back, but what I do know 100% for sure is that in the 1980s and in the 1990s is no way that a melanated man who is a Jehovah's Witness living in Compton, California, South Los Angeles, California, in Compton, no less, will be parading two little boys around and dressing them up like little girls and teaching them fucking tennis, you dumbass bitch. I swear to God, I want to come to Florida and smack the shit out of my own homeboy face, Mr. D. Calico. I swear to God, I do. And still, you still be my brother. But I want to fry your jaw so motherfucking bad. I want to fry your jaws. I swear to God. As intelligent as you are, that was the dumbest decision that you ever fucking made in your life, to let it slide across your lips. When I asked you, I said, bruh, if you believe that Michelle Obama is a man, you also have to believe that Venus and Serena Williams were born males too. Do you know this nigga said, yeah? You drew the line in the sand. And I know many of y'all feel like I drew the line in the sand in 2018 when I finally was able to come to terms with the fact that Dr. York, Dwight York, Malachi Z. York, y'all know he became a Christian again before he went to prison, right? After all of that knowledge he gave y'all, he went back to being Reverend Pork Chop on y'all. I literally got the word Reverend Pork Chop from Dr. York. But I know I drew the line in the sand when I start professing that this nigga is guilty. I lost so much of a following and so many people, and I don't give a fuck. Fuck all y'all, because y'all forsake all of them babies for one schizophrenic, pedophile, psychotic motherfucker. You did, and I'm not never doing that. And at the same time, I'm not saying that there aren't some women or children who have lied on a woman or a man making claims that they touched them. But there are ways that you can find out whether or not a child has actually been violated. You know that, right? And the likelihood, if we gonna talk about a percentage or talk about statistics, the likelihood of a 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 all the way up to a 13-year-old lying on somebody who already suspect, like for instance, if Uncle Ray Ray already did sexually assaulted your mama when they was kids and a neighbor little boy, and now you got somebody who in the age range of 5 to 13 coming to you saying that Uncle Ray Ray did the same shit, what's the odds that that child is lying versus the odds that Uncle Ray Ray did that shit and he need to be strung up and hung by a tree? This shit's serious, y'all. I'm not playing with this shit. I promise you, I will go to jail for mine. I already have, and I'll do it again. That's how serious this shit is. Like I said, I'm not a victim. I'm a survivor. It's a difference. A survivor will get at your ass. Somebody who is a victim is still so fucking traumatized and haven't dealt with their trauma in a healthy manner. They haven't got the guts up to express themselves in a manner that I have expressed myself, whether it's vocal or physical. I will go to jail. I don't give a fuck. Rather than for me to know that another child has been fucking violated, yeah, I'm going to jail. This is going down. I ain't gonna say I'm going to jail, right? But if it come to that, if my reaction, somebody snitch on me, we just say it like that, then yeah, I'll take that charge. I don't go fuck. But if we can keep it in the community where it belongs and not let it get in the hands of local, state, and the federal government, then we all good. But if it get in their hands, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm so sick of this shit. A woman my age has multiple friends who I grew up with and have been violated by their uncles, their brothers, their fathers, their neighbors on a date, right? Go on a date and come home and you done been violated in all type of ways as to where you won't even tell nobody for a year or two. If you say anything at all. And imagine how our little boys feel. 1 out of every 6 of our little boys is being violated before the age of 18. What's the likelihood of a little boy telling somebody that a man or a woman sexually assaulted them? I need y'all to do the math because I already did the math. I need us to operate as a village, as a community, and stop operating as a hood, as a fucking neighborhood. No, a village, a community, an estate, a clan, a real clan, not a Ku Klux Klan, a real clan. When you operate like that, automatically we have love for one another, love for self. When you go through a rites of passage, we don't have none of that no more. In little packets, but usually, little pockets, and usually those little pockets have pedophile leaders like a Dwight York that ruin the entire fucking village, the entire fucking clan. You can pick up all his books that you want to. I got enough of them myself. But him as a person, he is exactly where he is supposed to be. What's polite last name? Michael, I don't know what that nigga last name. He is exactly where he's supposed to be. And I'm pretty sure the Rashad Jamal, whatever the fuck his name, I'm pretty sure if I had to put money on it, and again, I haven't even researched his case, but ain't nobody running around wasting the court's time trying to lock none of it. Dr. York didn't mean a motherfucking thing to these crackers. They don't give a fuck about him. Y'all are fucking delusional. Imagine if you was Jacob York and you grew up under somebody who was revered, as Dwight York was. People falling at his feet. Men going out and working for $1 a day for this nigga. Or whatever money that they made on the street selling DVDs and incense and shit, they brought every penny back to this nigga. Men who allowed Dwight York to sleep with their wives. Straight pussy niggas. Every last one of you bitch ass niggas. But imagine if that was your father and he molested multiple of your friends whose parents was up under that spell up under him, so they wasn't gonna do shit about it. It's only so much you gonna be able to stand. It's only so much you're gonna be able to take knowing before you explode, before you fucking spaz out. Jacob York should have been told. And Dr. York's a sick motherfucker. Because for decades, he always said he named his son Jacob for a reason, because he knew Jacob was going to sell him out. Well, that's easy for you to say if you know your son know that you have assaulted many minors, right? And you kind of got the feeling that eventually he could tell on me. Use logic. Stop lying for people and start regurgitating lies. I'm going to need y'all to use logic so we can actually deal with this shit and begin to prevent it from happening, as well as holding those who are guilty of these type of crimes accountable. And that's it. Y'all stay up, stay safe. Practice some self-love so you can love others how you love self, right? Those who deserve it, and those who don't deserve it, hold their ass to the fire. And with that, I say peace.